Hey everyone, Matt here on another edition of Ask Ron. Ron, how's your day going so far?
So far, so good. It's early in the morning.
Yeah?
I mean, semi-early.
It's early enough. All right, I think we have 7 questions for today.
Seven.
Yep.
Not 77, right?
Just 7.
All right.
07, not 70.
Okay.
First question we have is from Michael in Minnesota. Michael says, a seller asked if I was a home buyer, and I said yes. She went on to ask how I plan to fix her $650,000 house when the tenant buyer does damage. I said, we got the repairs. Where did I go wrong?
Oh, okay. Well, first of all, if they are asking about a tenant buyer, Michael, it means you talked too much and went into the seminar mode, telling them what you're going to do after you buy the house. You don't ever do that unless they ask you directly, what are you going to do with the house? And my answer to that is, I'm going to sell it or put a lease option tenant buyer in there and get them cashed out. That's the end of that conversation, period. And that only comes up if they ask you, period. But the answer to your question would be, I'm responsible for any repairs that a tenant buyer does. But believe me, when I put a tenant buyer in there, I screen them very well. And I just don't have that issue with them.
Nice.
And that's the end of that discussion. No long seminar. Shut up. I have such a hard time getting people just to shut up.
Yeah, can't put the foot in the mouth.
Yeah. I always want to answer the questions as short as you can and don't go into me. The longer you talk, the more they're going to talk. The more they talk, the longer you got to talk. Next thing you know, you're way off track and you forgot what you came there to do. And that's get them to agree to terms, period. And to give you the right to go out to their house and get contracts signed.
All right. Michael's next question is, what source would you use to find an owner's phone number?
There are all kinds of skip tracing companies out there that will do that for you. And you're asking me to give you some right off the top of my head. And I cannot, but boy, I talked to a bunch of them that do that. Maybe you should take that question, Matt, and give us time to get the answers and then get it back to him.
Yeah, that sounds good. We can do a weekly lesson out of it.
I just did a podcast, which you guys won't see for a while, yesterday, with a guy named Nick, who actually makes all the cold calls for you, calls sellers, and there's a team that does that, and then skip traces them and then texts them, and his lead costs are pretty cheap. So you look for the podcast from Nick. He's a brand new source that I'm bringing in to find sellers for you, and I'd like it when I can bring you people that do all the work for you. You shouldn't be skip tracing. Okay, that's grunt work. Any of these companies that will call for you will also skip trace, because they're going to skip trace before they make the calls, and for a very inexpensive price. I think he said it was something like 7 cents per skip trace. So let the people do what they do best and get out of the way. Skip tracing is not something you should be doing, but we will give you some sources of companies that will do that for you. There's companies, you can go on Google and ask for skip tracing companies, and it's very inexpensive today, but we'll see what we can find for you, won't we, Matt?
That's right.
Okay, won't you, Matt?
Yep. See, you already know. And Michael, be on the lookout for that mentor podcast episode that'll be coming out soon.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on to the next question. We have Z out in California.
Hey.
Z says, who collects the rent? Do you hire a service to collect the rent?
No, our tenants pay us directly. Remember, I only have tenant buyers, and they pay us directly. Some of them send a check. I think some of them pay us electronically because I don't actually collect the rent. I have a person doing that takes care of all of my income and outgo and various things. So, and that's what I've always done. There's no way I'm going to collect the rent in person. There's no way I'm going to go to anybody's house. There's no way I'm going to send anybody on my team to anybody's house. I learned that lesson the hard way when some guy that I had managing my properties got stabbed in the heart trying to collect a $10 late fee. We do not knock on doors. We don't know what's behind those doors, especially in this day and age. So that's a no-no. Get out of the habit of go picking up rent. Don't do that. They send you the rent. And in my case, if it's 1 day late, after 5 days, it's a 10% late penalty. So if they're paying me $1,500 a month, they owe me now $1,650. In my case, I will not accept the rent until I get their late penalty. And I make it very clear that I intend to enforce the rules that they agreed upon when they signed the lease option agreement. And that's part of property management. If you don't enforce them, then they will take advantage of you. But remember, this is a big one. All my tenant buyers have given me thousands and thousands of dollars to get in the house. So if they mess with me and they don't pay the rent, they're going to lose all that money. So they got skin in the game. And that prevents them from doing all the stupid stuff that you think about tenants doing. My tenants pay their rent. Never had any problem collected during COVID. Not one of them asked for relief, okay? Because they know they're jeopardizing that big deposit. But I've never had any trouble really collecting the rents when I got out of the low income, low housing and HUD crap. Back then, I had a miserable time collecting rents. And that's where I learned not to knock on doors. Let the system work. They don't pay. You give them a 3-day notice, and if they don't pay, you send it right to your attorney and let your attorney take over and start the eviction process. That's simple. With one caveat, I do send somebody by just to make sure that they haven't abandoned the property and to see if there's somebody in it. That doesn't mean you knock on the doors. You can tell if somebody's living in the house before I send it to the attorney, because if the house is vacant, there's no need to send it to the attorney.
Yeah. The lesson is don't knock on doors. Hopefully that property manager who got stabbed in the heart is okay.
$10 lousy.
People are crazy.
To the door and got in an argument. Boom.
Especially nowadays.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on to the next question, we have Ronald out in Colorado.
Hey, Ronald.
Ronald asks, is there an additional cost to use the VAs?
Yeah, there is. The VAs are, you pay, it's $105 for it's $105 for what, 10 hours? Okay, and our $200, am I right here? It's about $20 an hour, so that'd be right, 5 hours, sorry. So it's $105 for 5 hours, it's $200 for 10 hours. But remember, the VAs only charge you by the minutes they work, not by the minutes they're in the chair, okay? And it's all electronically done, whether they're on the computer working for you or whether they're on the phone working for you. So it's a real deal, I promise you. Paying the tenants that amount of money is about like having an employee you're paying $6 or $7 an hour to, because you're only paying by the minute they work. Plus, without somebody making those calls to those sellers, you don't have a business, and that load comes off of you with the virtual assistants. And then there's a whole list of other stuff they do as well. But you add them as you need them, and then if you want to get into our top level of our Go Club, it's $697 a month, which includes 25 hours of VA service. When you get to the point to where you need that much VA service, which that'll save you about $125 a month. So anyway, you just add them as you need them, and there's no overage. Okay, you have to okay any overage before we will allow it to happen.
All right, there you go, Ronald. We're coming down to the last few students that have submitted questions. The next one is Lionel. He does not give a state, but Lionel says, in a Texas tax lien sale, are you also responsible for the mortgage payment?
No. If you go to a tax lien sale, there is no mortgage. It wipes out the mortgage. It wipes out everything. Property taxes are the most senior lien on any property anywhere in the United States. So if you buy it at a tax deed sale, there is no mortgage, is gone. So the mortgage company is not going to allow that to happen, because they're going to pay the taxes before the sale, unless it slips through the cracks. And a lot of them do. A lot of them slip through the cracks, and they literally just get wiped out. So they don't have any more lien on the property. But on a tax deed sale now, you're probably going to have to file a quiet title suit to get clear title. Quiet title suit. It's kind of like a foreclosure. It notifies anybody that has any interest to come forward if you have some reason to overturn this sale. And that's about a process in Florida. Don't know how long it takes in Texas, but check with your attorney on that. But tax lien sales are a good place to get deals, but a lot of them are going to get paid off right before the sale. So There's a lot of disappointment in chasing these things.
Yeah, so in other words, don't get your hopes up too much.
Yeah.
All right. Our last two questions are from Tracy. She does not give her state either, but Tracy says, are you closing at a title company? If so, which one do you use?
I don't close at a title company. I close with an attorney. You've got to always close with an attorney. If there's any relationship going on with the seller or the buyer. In other words, I close my lease options with attorneys, and I close my purchases with owner financing and subject to with attorneys. And there's a lot of reasons why, but use attorneys, please. Now look, the title companies do the title search, but I usually have my attorney order that first. And sometimes we go and order it directly from the title company, but that then goes to the attorney. Either way, I use the title companies to do the title search. And if I buy for cash, I most certainly want a title policy on it. But if I'm doing terms, I don't even get a title policy. I just have a title search, okay? I don't need a title policy to ensure the little bit of money I'm putting in for closing costs to buy a house on terms. It's a waste of money, actually. And but I certainly do if I pay cash. But I can give you the name of my attorney, but I'm not going to do it over the air. I actually got a couple of them here in Jacksonville that we use, but that's something that we're going to have to send you privately. Actually, I think we just put another attorney up on a website that is in Florida, I believe. And
that was Kelly, right? Was that Kelly?
Yeah, actually it was. Yeah. Okay. I'll give you my attorney's name here in Jacksonville. It's Michelle Fusillo, Fusillo. But she works with Landmark Title, so it's all in one package. And that's a good relationship there. She's on her own. She does her own thing, but she's actually has an office at Landmark Title. So you order a title through Landmark, she closes it. Does a good job. Charges me $650, I think.
Nice.
But let me make this point. If I'm going to buy title insurance, I'm going to pay way more than $650. Okay, so on a terms deal, I don't buy title insurance, so that $650 is less than what I pay for the policy. Why not close with an attorney?
Right. Awesome. All right. Moving on to the last question of today. Tracy says, sometimes the seller can't purchase another home unless the current one is paid off. How does that work?
If you buy on a wraparound mortgage or a wraparound deed of trust, you're signing, your land trust is signing a note back to the seller that will cover their debt. In other words, you're going to pay their payment. So they have income coming in to wash out that debt. Now, some lenders want to see that seasoned before they will accept it, but they should accept it because it truly is real income, literally recorded on the public record and so forth. So even if you're paying the bank directly, which I do, I would get with it. If they come to me, I would get with their loan processor and say, listen, I'm paying their bank directly. How do you want to handle it to prove to the lender that they are getting the income to wash out that debt? And, you know, that's the only thing you can tell them. But you can't guarantee them that now because some lenders just won't do it and some lenders will do it. So just find a lender that they don't have a problem with it. And that's the reason why I don't buy subject to be honest with you. If I buy subject to, there is no debt instrument back to them. I'm simply taking over their loan. So they have no income covering that debt and they have no proof of it. So that's going to screw up their debt ratio when they go to buy another house. So I buy with owner financing so they can prove that they got the income coming in.
All right, Ron, I think that's all she wrote for today.
That's all there is.
That was it.
That didn't even stir up my molecules in my brain. If there's any left up there. All right. Well, I'll see you guys next week. Do you realize that we're in October already? Holy, where'd this year go? It's going to be Christmas pretty soon. And then another year just went zoom right on by. And what have you done this year that is worth talking about? And if it's not good, and I wouldn't like the answer, when are you going to get started, for crying out loud? And what is stopping you from getting going? I promise you, it's right here between these two earlobes. It's you, baby. Now get on it and let's fix it. You do not need money to buy real estate. You do not need credit. You're not going to risk your credit. You're not going to guarantee debt. Why on earth aren't you getting started and getting deals? Now, for those of you who are, congratulations. You just see the letters we get in here. I'm telling you, some of these letters just almost bring me to tears. Okay. Some of them are, I mean, it's really fun to be in a business where I can see people getting out of their old lifestyle and actually getting some income coming into their lives. And I mean, they are really excited about it, and I'm excited for them. So anyway, I know many of you that are watching have not done a darn thing to move forward, and many of you have, so congratulations to you. And by the way, we got a boot camp coming up in November here in Jacksonville now. I don't know the dates on it, but I'm teaching it personally right here in my city. I'm inviting you. And yeah, okay, you got to spend a little money to get there, but I promise you, by the lunch the first day, you realize how cheap it is, because that's the starting point for all my heroes out there. Everybody has to come through that boot camp to get the basic training, to get what they need to get out there and start working. And then we're working with you after that. So listen, if you're really serious about getting into the business, why not get started? Just call my office and tell me what's the best deal you can give me on the Quick Start Boot Camp coming up in November. And we're going to do it live. This is not going to be telecast, right here in Jacksonville, Florida. And we'll have a nice room full of people. So think about it real hard. If not now, when? And I know you know the answer. The answer is never. Okay, so don't try to fool me. It's never. All right, but get something going. All right, I'm off my box. Preaching is over, so I'll see you guys. See you guys next week. Thanks for coming.
Guys, don't forget that boot camp Ron's talking about, November 15th to 18th. Make sure you're there in Jacksonville, Florida. And we also have a Great American Real Estate Summit coming up on October 19th through the 21st. And you don't even have to leave your own home to attend. It's virtual. Right. So guys, don't forget to join.
So what's that cost, Matt?
It's a big nothing. It's free, everybody. So there's no reason.
I'm happy to give you 3 times your money back that you paid. Nothing. Okay. By the way, I'm working on the schedule, just so you know. Here's the schedule. All right, don't take no picture of it, because I'm going to change it. Here's day 3 right there. So I'm still working on the. We got an incredible lineup of folks on here.
That's right.
And the first 3 hours, I'll be talking about how people are making money in real estate in the terms business, and we go through that step by step. And I'm telling you, I got 3 or 4 companies that I'm going to interview that generate leads for you. Okay. And this is really what I want you to do. I want you to have somebody generating the leads for you. Put it on autopilot. And now all you got to do is make the closing call. And we're even going to practice on that. Okay. I'm going to give you my scripts and we're going to practice on some closing calls. And I'm telling you, I got a heck of a lineup here lined up for you. So do not miss that. How do they sign up for that anyway?
Go ahead and go to ronlegrand.com. And if you hit the calendar button, then just look at the calendar from October 19th to the 21st. Okay. Like I said, it's free. All you have to do is click the link to sign up.
And put the word out to everybody you know that might have any interest in real estate at all. Do them a favor, because we're delivering thousands of dollars worth of information to you here for free. And it's 3 long days. I mean, we're going to talk about all kinds of things: short-term rentals, foreclosures, which is hot right now. How to get automated. We're going to talk about LLCs and why forming them there yourself is a no-no. And we're going to be, I'm going to do a commercial class. First time I've done a commercial class in a long time. And we got small apartments covered. We got quick land flips covered. We got buying houses directly from probate covered. And several different people are going to generate leads for you. And I got a guy coming, and this I didn't know, that will tell you how to do cost segregation on your rental houses. I didn't know you could do them on rental houses and get great big tax write-offs on your rental houses. That I was always aware that you could do it on commercial, but not rental. And if you don't know what cost segregation is, I promise you, if you got rentals, you better tune into that if you want to save some money. I just got my tax return back yesterday, and I'm still recovering from the damage at the bottom. So We got a whole bunch of stuff coming up. Gonna meet some students that are doing deals, and we're gonna meet some mentors. We're even gonna have a piano party. Jay Connor and Carol Connor are gonna do a piano party on the second night, all virtual, of course. And you can tune into that. I mean, it's gonna be a cool event. We're gonna give away a bunch of stuff too, some big prizes, so
Yeah.
go sign up.
Hey,
All right.
free prizes, can't beat that.
Nope. So I'll see you guys next week.